Well, let me tell you something, brother.
Snort, snort, snort,
Hogan. Drip.
snort, snort.
I got the drip. Go.
Felix the Maid says, would you be open for us buying you a free day? Like once in a while someone would tip a certain amount and then you could have, you could just relax with your wife for the day. Here's the thing.
Okay, before he says whatever nonsense he's gonna say to you, I just want to remind everybody that in my last video, he very blatantly said that he didn't know what to do with his wife because the internet was out. He's actually incapable of spending any sort of quality time with his wife. If the internet is out and they can't stream some random garbage off of some overpriced streaming app, he wants nothing to do with her. And he definitely said it in this podcast, but maybe it's not gonna be in this clip, but he definitely said that he did wind up turning his phone into a hotspot so that him and Kat could watch something. So he was actually unwilling to spend any sort of time with her whatsoever if they weren't going to be able to watch something together. Because spending any sort of time actually talking to your significant other is obviously a waste of your time. I mean, dude, you could be pulling Hogan's or drinking gin. So no, the idea of him actually taking more time off to spend time with his wife is not going to happen. Because he had a chance to spend time with her and he completely wasted it and just wanted to act like a victim the entire time.
Okay. Here's the thing. Yes and no. You know, if we were in the distinct idea that that's what was going to happen. Hold on 1 second, by the way.
And these getting up segments are getting completely out of hand. I mean, he has a semi-legitimate excuse this time because he is actively waiting for the Comcast guy at this point, but I still think it's unacceptable to get up and walk away from the microphone during a primarily audio-focused show, especially with no explanation before it happens. Dude literally just said, "Hold on," as he was already halfway across the room.
I heard a truck outside. I was like, could that possibly be them? They didn't call me, but no, it's not them. Okay, here's the thing. All right? No matter what, not working puts me behind. You understand? Like, how can I explain this?
Well, I'm gonna hope that in your explanation, you don't continue to call streaming work, because it's not a good look. We already went over this in the last video.
As you guys know, I have a certain work ethic. I stream a lot.
I mean, that's not necessarily a work ethic just because you're there often. I've worked with plenty of people who had terrible work ethics, but were actually there every day. They just didn't do a good job or their job at all.
Right? I'm here consistently. Correct? A lot of people tell me that I'm one of the more, or one of the most dependable, consistent streamers there are. That I have a set schedule. You know what I'm doing during that schedule.
Oh yeah, DSP, you're definitely consistently putting out bad content to just flood people's subscription boxes. And yeah, you better keep to this schedule that you constantly talk about 4 or 5 times a day. In all actuality, the schedule segments are probably about 30% of your content, period. You are always going on about your schedule. Your schedule probably has more production value in it than anything else that you do. That's how much of a focus it is for you.
A lot of other streamers, they'll turn their stream on. You don't even know what they're doing today. They'll turn their stream on whenever they feel like, without even giving you a heads up of exactly when they're starting. They don't take it seriously or act like professionals. To them, it's just kind of like a hobby or a mess around, right? Yet, here they are, ginormous popular people with millions of viewers and stuff, right? It's pretty crazy.
Okay, but what does it say about you that they apparently don't take it seriously and they're still doing significantly better than you? What does it say about your content that even though those other streamers don't tell their viewers in advance what they're doing, that they still show up for the streams excited to see what's going on? Also, can't believe that he would bother saying that they're unprofessional and don't take streaming seriously when this dude wears PJ pants 90% of his stream. I mean, he is in the comfort of his own home, and that is a perk of being a streamer. You can really wear whatever you want, but they're not supposed to show on camera. You're not supposed to let people know that you'd not even bothered getting dressed.
I've never had that mentality. Since the day that I started streaming, I treated it like my job, because that's exactly what it is, right? Like, I treated it seriously. And because of that, there's been a certain level of expectancy from me, like people expecting certain things of me, that I'm going to play a certain amount of gameplay, I'm going to have a certain amount of content, I'm going to be here a certain amount of time. And I really have not veered from that level of content delivery in many, many years, right? I haven't.
Well, DSP, it is very clear that you treat streaming as a job because it shows up in your content. You treat it like a dead-end job that you don't want to be at every single day, and you're just clocking in and clocking out, and you don't care how good the quality of content that you make is. Everyone can see that. It's no secret. You don't have to tell us. We know. And he talks about these expectations that he's going to play a certain amount of games, and he's going to talk about a certain amount of things, and this, that, and the other. DSP, you're your own boss. You're the only person who makes the rules that you have to abide by. If you don't want to play certain games, you don't have to play certain games. If you just want to spend all day talking into a camera and hoping to get free money, you can do that if you'd like. You're the only person that's in charge of the expectations that are placed upon you. It's one of the benefits of you being a streamer, actually. But instead of taking advantage of the position that you've been put in to better yourself and your situation, like I said, you treat it like a dead-end job, like you don't want to be there, and continuously put out bad content because of it. And that's why a lot of people resent you, because you're in a very sought-after position and you treat it like garbage. You really show no appreciation for the position that you've been put in, and you squander every single opportunity that you're given, and you laugh in everybody's face when you do it.
I mean, there was a time I didn't even have a whole day off. Were you aware of that? There were times when I only had half a day off a week. So I would stream 7 days, and one day I would stream one stream, and then the second half of the day would be to go grocery shopping and do stuff. How crazy was that? That was, I cut back. When Kat moved in with me in 2018, we made a commitment, all right? We made a commitment that we were going to have, no matter what, one day together a week, because that was more important than whatever more benefit I would get from working 7 days a week, you see?
Is that why you didn't spend the extra downtime that you had with her? Because it wasn't part of your agreement? You gave her only one day and you said, no more, honey, I can't do that. And you talk about it like you work these long, arduous hours somewhere that isn't your house. You're home all day long. You take multiple breaks throughout the day and she's home at those times. Because she doesn't work a full-time job either. She's part-time. But of course, DSP is Mr. No Time to Do Anything because he's so busy doing nothing on stream all day.
So that's why we have the 1 day away as it is. Now, if we were to have a situation where someone say, hey, I would like to donate a certain amount of a tip or whatever it may be, okay? And that would allow you to have an extra day off this week, right? Here's the thing. If that were exactly what happened, then yes, all right?
What the hell is up with all of these hand movements today? It's very strange. I know DSP is usually flailing around like a maniac, but he is extra on one today. But I would love for DSP to put a price point on this fictional tip that would have to come through that he would just take the whole day off. Because, I mean, this is really his dream right here. If someone tipped him, let's say $150 and was just like, here, DSP, take the day off, he would absolutely do it and feel no remorse about it because he got free money and he doesn't actually have to do anything. He could spend all day wasting that money on WWE champion.
But typically, in a situation like that, here's usually what happens, right? So, all right, so I get a big contribution, and I decide, well, because of that, now I'm going to work less. What ends up happening is, now I work less, now I'm behind. Not because I'm behind, people are upset. Not because people are upset, they don't contribute. You get it? It kind of is cyclical.
The only content creator who said, if you pay me more, I will work less. Make that make sense, please.
It's like, you have a level of expectation of what I'm going to do and how I'm going to do it. And if I don't live up to it, then people get disappointed. And disappointed people don't tend to have a good time and don't tend to support that person who they're watching. Do you see what I mean?
Well, DSP, if that was the case, then you would have never made any money at all because you've never lived up to anybody's expectations. Not in the quality of your content, not as a son, and definitely not as a husband given recent events. So I don't know if what you're saying actually holds any water at all.
So, if the whole idea was, I'm going to tip Phil a big tip today, and I'm hoping that this tip is going to allow him to not have to work an extra day this week. And so this happens, and I planned it out ahead of time, and we're all of the agreement that this is what it is. And everyone says, yes, this is so you can have an extra day off this week, you deserve it. And everyone's okay with it, then yes, that could happen. But that would have to be something that actually has planning, that we all talk about, we plan, we agree to, so that there's no disappointment.
How many people have to agree with this in your chat before it's everyone agreed and we planned for it and it's okay to do? I mean, I'm just trying to think practically. How many people actually have to agree in your chat that it's a good idea that you take the day off and that it's okay? And obviously the vice versa. How many people have to say, no, DSP, I don't want you to take the day off, and you would have to listen to them? How many people? Because this whole plan doesn't make any sense from the jump because, again, DSP is his own boss. He's a content creator. He is a streamer. He makes his own schedule. He's the only person who has rules for himself. He alone must weigh the positives and negatives of taking certain days off and what he's going to play and what he is going to do on his stream. It comes with the territory of making your own content on the internet and making that your entire business. And let's just say that this did happen and everybody in the chat agreed that Phil should take the day off, right? So he takes the day off and he comes back to his next stream and he's gonna play the game. And then look at that, the tips are low for whatever reason, because they don't like the game, because the right people didn't show up for the stream. Like, it is what it is. I can hear the segment now, DSP saying, well, everyone told me it was okay to take the day off, and then I take the day off, and then all of a sudden it's low support. But you guys told me it was okay to take the day off, so this is all your fault. So again, this whole idea is just a regarded waste of time.
All right? Because typically, here's what I found. When you get a situation where you get a day where there's great support, what ends up happening is then people look at that situation, because let's be honest here, I don't have a normal following on the internet. I have both a fan base and a hater base, right? There's people who hate watch me and literally track every dollar that I make on a stream. As messed up as that sounds, that's very much the case. So if I have a day where, oh my God, Phil did really well today. I'm going to throw a number out there. Phil made $500 today, and he typically doesn't do that. You know, in a given day, he would never make that much. It's just a random, he made $500 on stream today. That's crazy. What ends up happening is those scumbags will make a series of videos about it. They'll put it everywhere. See, Phil made $500 today. He doesn't need your support because he's rolling in it right now.
Hey, you can just at me next time, DSP. You don't have to sneak diss me like that. Well, when it gets proven time and time again that you're spending all of this tip money on polls, I don't really know what you expect people to say. It's basically just a public service announcement to anybody that'll listen that if you give DSP money, you're wasting your money because he's just gonna gamble it on a mobile game. And I honestly hate even referring to it as gambling, because at least in gambling, you have a chance to win something in the form of money, where when you gamble in WWE Champions, the only thing that you're gonna win is a worthless sweaty JPEG.
So what ends up happening is I'll have a really good day, and all of a sudden I'll just happen to notice that over the course of the next week, support's way low. Now, what happened? That'll be the same as saying you own a sandwich shop, and one day you have a rush of customers, and they all come in and buy your sandwiches. Wow, I did so good. For the rest of the week, no one comes into your shop. What happened? Right?
Why does he always have to do these weird restaurant analogies? Dude, you don't own a restaurant. You have never owned a restaurant. You know nothing about owning a restaurant. Why do you insist on restaurant analogy? And it's not even a good analogy, because with running a restaurant, there's everyday business expenses. And I'm not talking about the fake $5,000 a month business expenses that DSP put on his bankruptcy so that he could again pull Hogan's. I'm talking about actually paying for employees, actually paying for the space that your business operates from, paying for the ingredients, paying for the power bill, paying for all of the other utilities and equipment that get used day to day. DSP, you have no business expenses. You were gonna play these games anyway. You run your business from your house. So if you make $500 in one day and the next 2 days are slow, you really still won out on that one, because you made $500 in 3 days. That's pretty damn good money. If you didn't spend your money like an absolute crazy person, this wouldn't be an issue for you, because you make a good amount of money every single year. You just have a spending problem.
I don't know, but that's what happens sometimes. Okay, I'll run a marathon, and the marathon will go really well, and a lot of people will support the marathon, and all of a sudden the whole rest of the week is slow for support, which is no good. The whole idea is consistency, right? That I come and I told you my philosophy. Here's my philosophy.
Oh Jesus, we're gonna get the philosophy segment again. This is starting to become a classic around here. The old I make content and you guys like it, and then you guys, because you like it, decide to support me, and then I can continue making the content that you like. I'm so sick and tired of this whole spiel.
If I turn on a stream and I'm putting out honest content, right? I'm loyal to you guys. I tell you truthful statements about the games I'm playing, so you have a fair representation of what I'm playing on that stream. If I'm having a good time, whether it's enjoying a game because I really like it or just not enjoying it at all because I hate it. But as long as I'm portraying that fairly, I'm not shilling, I'm not lying, I'm not over-exaggerating, but instead I'm giving you a truthful representation of what I feel about the game that's on that stream that day, correct? So as long as I'm doing that, all right, then you guys will enjoy the content. You in turn will engage with said content, right? You will enjoy said content, and you will say, man, I like that content, and I want that content to continue.
Just gotta butt in here really quickly and say, I don't know why he's exaggerating the T's in the word content so much. And also, he said content way too many times in too short of a time period, and now to me, it's not even a word. I hate when that happens.
So I am going to, out of the goodness of my own heart, I am going to support that content. Whether it would be by watching, by liking, by you leaving comments, a super chat, a super sticker, a super thanks, a membership, a gifted membership, a tip. No matter what it is, that's all the ways that you support my content and keep me going, correct? So, With that being said,
Hey, shout out that being said. Get well soon, Steve.
that's my philosophy, right? So if I'm putting out the same content and it's genuine fun content and it's useful and educational and people find value in it, then arguably what you would think would happen is that every single day I would have a set amount of consistent support that I can depend on and would be the same. And I could say, okay, now I can rely on that and I'm good. And that's literally not what happens. And we've talked about this as well, correct? We have.
No, DSP, that's not how this business works at all. I'm not even in this business, and I can tell you up front that that's just not how this works. You are not guaranteed a set income just because a certain amount of people like your content. It's the ebb and flow of the game, bro. But who is describing your content as fun, useful, and educational? The only thing you're educating people on is how not to operate a business as a streamer, which isn't exactly something that people needed more examples of. There's already a bunch of failed streamers on the internet that people can look at for reference.
We have had situations where, again, I have a really good day, and then all of a sudden, for the rest of the week, it's dead. No support. Why? Oh, because your haters made a bunch of videos saying you made $500 today, so now everyone's like, haha, he doesn't need anything. So, now no one came by and supported your stream today. Or everyone withheld because they saw that you had a good day yesterday, and everyone talked about it in hater videos. Like, what?
And now he's just repeating the exact same thing he just said. We just went over this. I promise the video did not rewind. We are doing it all over again for some reason. The Jinn has rotted his brain so much that he actually forgot that he just did this whole entire thing, but not a couple of minutes ago.
What are you talking about? And the thing is, I don't even know that because I don't watch that junk. I'm here on my stream putting out my content. That's all I know. I don't watch any other shit around me on the periphery. I only know about it when people come to me and talk to me about it. That's the only time I know. You guys tell me in the chat or I'll get an email about it. I will never know about their junk unless you guys distinctly tell me what's going on with that junk, okay? So
I do genuinely think that it's a good idea that DSP don't watch detractor videos. It can't be good for your mental health to listen to people talk bad about you almost 24/7. And that is kind of what's happening in the detractor sphere. There's no way to get around it. There's no lying about it. That's pretty much what's happening. We are all dogging on this one guy. But I don't believe that he doesn't watch detractor content. There's too many coincidences with what people say in their content and then DSP referencing it in his own content. It's just, there's too many coincidences. So because of that, I have to press X to doubt.
To me, it sucks because I would love, abso-freaking-lutely, to say, man, if I have a really good day this week, that means I could take a day off, right? But a lot of the times, that's not the case. A lot of the times, I'll have the good day, but then that good day is completely negated by a week after that's slow, so the good day essentially made up for the slowness, and I'm just back to where I normally am. Do you see what I'm saying? I know this is a really long-winded answer, but this is just what I've come to see over time. It's not necessarily always factors that I can control. Me, what can I control? Right here, what's on this stream and the content I put out on the stream. That's it. That's the one factor. I don't control YouTube. I don't control my own internet, as you can see with this Comcast issue. I don't control what people say and do about me. I don't control the hater content around there, the drama that people create artificially on the internet around me that I don't make. I don't have anything to do with any of it. All I can do is control this right here.
I mean, he's going on and on about how if he has a good day, the haters make videos and say that he doesn't need help, and then he doesn't get the support because the haters made the video that say that he doesn't need help, right? Basically just re-summarize the thing that he said twice. You're welcome. But what I'm failing to understand is why the people that would support him care what the haters are making videos about and what they're saying. If you're gonna watch detractor content, why are you supporting this guy in the first place? Why would you watch detractor content about someone that you care enough to support? That doesn't make any sense to me at all. His whole reasoning behind why support becomes slow after he has a good day doesn't make any sense. I mean, the reality really could be that people see he has a good day and go, wow, I could use my own money this week instead of supporting this failure. That's why I think if DSP was intelligent to any capacity, he would take down all of his leaderboards off of his stream completely. That way nobody knows how good you did unless they're actually counting the tips live. I mean, of course that would be a double-edged sword for him because then people couldn't see by the end of the stream that he had only made like $5 or whatever and give him a couple more pity bucks. But hey, you gotta take the good with the bad, my guy.
And do my best with what's on my own content stream, you see? And that's my focus. But that's what sucks is, that's not all that affects me. Although this is all I can control, this is not all that affects me. There's all this white noise bullshit on the outside of this stream that I can't control my internet. I can't control how YouTube works. I can't control what haters say. I can't.
Dude, and again, just repeating the same thing he just said. He just talked about not being able to control his internet and haters and all of the other things. He just did that. Why do we continuously repeat ourselves today? I know he always does that because he always says basically the same 5 things on loop, but like actually back to back now. This whole internet fiasco has totally broken this man.
If people would tune out the bullshit, if they would just listen to me and say, listen, if you really like me and my content, here's what you do. Every day you come here, you watch the stream, you talk with me, you enjoy, and you move on with your day, and that's it. You unplug. When this stream is unplugged or the on-demand video is done, you're done. Do not watch any of the periphery shit, and you will enjoy this a lot more. There's so many people that fall down that rabbit hole of bullshit. They listen to all the trash that people say about me and everyone else around me, and they get sucked into that toilet. It's what it is. It's a toilet.
Actually, Philium, it's called the vortex, and some of us have been calling it the Snortex, hashtag Snortex. But also, this is one of those weird coincidences where he's calling it like a vortex, a toilet. He knows. It's too coincidental that he doesn't know that people call it a vortex or hashtag Snortex.
And once you get sucked into the toilet, it's hard to get yourself out because it's flushing. You're getting pulled down. You know what I'm saying? And there's really nothing I can do. You might watch my content, all right? And then all of a sudden, 5 related videos show up that are all negative, right? You could literally be watching my marathon stream, and a marathon stream I do well, people, support.
Oh, you like how he snuck that in there? I'm not gonna let that slide, sir. He actually says a marathon stream that he does well, people support, because that's all it is to him. Doing well during a marathon stream just means that people are supporting it. It's not about the quality content. It's not about the interaction with his chat. It's only about whether people are giving him money or not.
And then it goes offline, and here's a detractor video. Phil makes this much money in his stream. He's an e-beggar, blah, blah, blah. What? Wait, I just watched the stream. The stream was good. The stream was entertaining and fun. People supported it. That's a positive.
And he did it again. The stream was fun and entertaining, and people supported it. He just can't leave it out. It can't just be fun and entertaining. It has to be also people supported it. As if that actually matters to anybody who's gonna watch it. Newsflash, Philium, your viewers don't care whether or not people support. It doesn't matter to them. They're there for the content.
But you spin it as a negative, right? And then you get bombarded with that negative shit. And it's ridiculous that you do. But that's how YouTube works, right? So I get it. That's kind of the nature of the beast. But at the same time, it sucks because like you just suggested, what if someone contributed a big amount and said, here, take the day off, right? First of all, I wouldn't be able to just take that day off. It would have to be a planned thing.
No, but you could totally just take the day off. You're beholden to nobody. I mean, it's true, you probably wouldn't make content during that day off because I don't think anybody wants to support content that isn't actually being made at all. But it's not like you're gonna be fired. It's not like you're gonna be written up. You are not beholden to anybody. I just don't understand how you don't take advantage of one of the primary benefits that you get from being an online content creator who streams from his own house. You can stream and not stream whenever you want and whenever you feel like.
Right? Like, okay, if Phil gets a big contribution, everyone agrees that maybe I'll take a day off next week, an extra day off or something like that. But then I literally have to have a week where every other day is a normal day and I'm making a good amount of support and everything every day. It can't be, I have the one good day, but then I have 4 slow days. Well, now I can't take the day off. Do you see?
But if you made enough money in one day to cover the other 4 days to make them all what seems to be normal days, then you could absolutely do that. I mean, it's just making all of the money from those days in one day, and it would just have to be pretty much spread out evenly. You'd have to not spend all of the money instantly, DSP. I know that's a struggle for you, but that's pretty much how that works. And then you would have your additional days off. It's a win-win. What are you talking about?
In general, that's how it works, right? So, that's the situation being a content creator of my level.
That level that he's talking about is level 1, need I remind you. This is how level 1 works, apparently, if you ask the guy. Sound good? Sounds good to me. And by the way, categories.
There are many content creators that are bigger than me, or content creators that are seen in a much more favorable, positive light, and they get tons of opportunities that I don't get. They get opportunities for sponsorships, partnerships, paid product placements, referral codes, shill. And those people don't have to work as much as me. They get to take time off. They get to go on travel and do vacations and go on work trips and things like that. I can't do that.
Yeah, it's almost like they understand how their business and industry work better than you. Also, notice that he said that they get opportunities for all of this shilling that he doesn't get. Not that he doesn't take, not that he doesn't want. It's that he doesn't get because he doesn't have the opportunity to get these opportunities because nobody wants to work with this guy. And he's done it to himself because he has a horrible track record with all of the people that he's ever worked with. He screws them all over inevitably.
I can't. Those days are over. Those days were over 10 years ago. right? And there's nothing I can do about that. I can't make time rewind. I can't make 10 years of slander go away. All I can do is push forward positively, right? All those people who get that flexibility are not me because they're not me. Get it? That's why they have that. They can do what they want to do. That amount of control over their work or whatever they do. I don't have that. I literally have to sit here and grind and make the content I do in order to make ends meet. Okay? That's just my reality.
So not only does he refer to streaming as work in front of his viewers, but he also describes it as grinding. How unappreciative can you be for your audience that you go ahead and describe the content that you make for them as grinding? Grinding is for people who put in actual work that they don't want to do, work that leaves them tired in the morning, work that puts them in harm's way, work that can literally grind them down. That's why they call it grinding. This guy rolls out of bed 15 minutes before his stream in his PJs and gets online and begs all day long. And he has the nerve to call what he does grinding. Absolutely insufferable, out of touch pig roach.
You know, and my wife and I have come to terms with that, although we want it to get better. We want to have 2 days off a week because ideally, one day off should be the day where I run errands. Like I go grocery shopping and appointments and all of that. And we should have another day off that we get to spend together as a family, that we could go have fun, go on a nice long date day. Or, hey, we want to do stuff in the house today. We have time to do it. We don't.
But you did have that extra time, DSP. You had an entire day of it when your internet wasn't working, but instead you got online to throw yourself a pity party in front of all of your viewers. And when they asked you why you weren't spending time with your wife, you said, what would we even do because there's no internet? A nice relaxing day doesn't require internet, DSP, unless you have an internet addiction. A date night doesn't require any internet, DSP. Why didn't you do those things while your internet was down? You want to get on stream and act like you have no time to spend with your wife after you literally just squandered all of the time that you were handed.
I'm not kidding you. It took us years to clean out our garage. We just finally cleaned out the garage to the point where I need like one more big clean out trip to maybe the dump. And then the garage will be clean where we can actually like thoroughly redesign and clean it and use it for something. It's been sitting there, right? For years and years and years. And we just don't have time to do anything with it. You know?
It has nothing to do with the amount of time that you have and everything to do with how lazy you are. Because I promise you, for years and years and years, you definitely had time. It's nobody's fault but your own that you can't seem to manage your time.
I've got broken down rooms. I got a whole bathroom that doesn't work. I don't have time to do anything with it or even plan for anything for that. You know, I'm here 6 days a week, you know?
Exactly, DSP. You're in your house 6 days a week. You could absolutely hire somebody to fix the goddamn bathroom that's been broken for actual years. It's not like you would have to stand over his shoulder while he fixed it. You just have to be present in the home while he's there, which you are at all times. Personal anecdote of mine, every time that I have to have something looked at on my house, I either have to take the day off, schedule it for a time that's convenient for me so I don't have to miss work, or I have to have my mother come to my house and make sure that the guy has access to the things that he needs access to. It's not impossible, and it's actually very easy if you're in your house 6 days a week all day long.
So ideally, I want things to get better. And by the way, I should say this, that they are moving in the right direction. They are. And if things change in this country, in the economy and stuff, you know, if things had gone a different way, and if these last few years there wasn't record high inflation and interest rates going up, I might have been in an even much better position to the point where I'd have more money and more flexibility with my life. It's just bad circumstances, things that have happened that are, again, things outside of the realm of my control. This is what I can control, what you see. I can't control the United States of America and interest rates and inflation and internet and trolls and how YouTube works. That's the shit I can't control. All I can control is right here, okay? And that's what I focus on and try to do my best with. So...
And he repeated himself for a third time, covering all of the things that he's not in control of. But when he talks about, oh, if things didn't go so poorly, if inflation, if interest rates, I think what he's referring to is if he could have refinanced his house, he'd be in a better spot because he'd have money. This bozo is so invested in actually refinancing his house for some quick cash. I'm telling you, Bankruptcy 2 Electric Boogaloo is just down the road, a couple of years, and we're right on the money. Or rather, right on the bankruptcy, I should say.
You know, I absolutely would love to have another day off a week. But even if someone were to step up and say, hey, here's a big contribution, take Friday off, I couldn't guarantee that that would work. You know what I'm saying? We could plan for it, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to work. And that sucks, you know, but that's really, out of my control at this point.
But that's going to be the end of the video. I appreciate all of your time. I know this one was a bit longer. I also know that I might have sounded a little bit frustrated during the recording of this. I'm not really that frustrated at all. It's not that deep. It's not that serious. But sometimes when I do these recordings, I tend to get lost in the sauce because I am listening to this guy on repeat again and again and again during these videos. But we're all here to laugh and have a good time. So again, it's not that deep. But again, big ups to Snort Hogan for the clip. I always appreciate it, brother. Thank you. Thank you. And a big shout out to everybody who watched the video. I also appreciate that. So hopefully I'll catch you in the next video. But until then, make sure you check out other detractor channels and dive deeper into that Snortex.